You ready?
Yeah, Coach, just talk about the start of practice. Obviously, you've been with them the summer and then
Right.
part of the fall before the official practice, but what have you seen so far from some of the returners and kind of mixing in the newcomers?
I was thinking about how our season went last year, and at first we started off at a pretty high level, played at a pretty high level, then faced adversity and had to learn to embrace adversity. And then I thought the WNIT run was really good for us. We learned a lot of lessons during that time. We started to put things together. This crew has taken a lot of those lessons and kind of amped them up at this point in time. So we're a better team at this time this year than we were last year at this time. And that's exciting. That's a long answer to a short question.
And you talked about the end of last year, obviously getting Mara back, but then Amaya before that, she's
Right.
playing at another level. That's one thing that everybody's going to look at this year is getting those two to play together at the level that they're capable of. I mean, we'll bring this team to another level.
Absolutely, it will. I think as players, especially all players, but especially players that are primary ball handlers for you, as time goes on, a lot of times coaches will say the game has slowed down for them. They are attacking, but they're aware of all the other options that they have. And I think we're just now starting to see some of that kind of come into fruition.
Some of the newcomers, Taylor being one, I know obviously people are familiar with her quite a bit, the program that she played at, but how does she fit in? And she's familiar with the Big Ten,
Right.
so that helps.
Well, I think Taylor's been great for us, and I think she's one of those players that has to learn how to slow down. But that doesn't mean you play slow. It means you have to attack and be ready for the next thing, but you have to be in total control and awareness of what's taking place. And I think last week was the first week that started to happen for her. And so now putting all the finer details together with that's really important, but she's doing really well.
Is there any other kind of new faces when the start of practice? I know you had summer practice, but
Right.
the start of fall, it's okay, I'm starting to see where these pieces might fit in. And
Right. Well, I think all 6 of our newcomers are going to provide us something that we really need. Annika Stewart is a name that a lot of people in this community are very familiar with, and Ani is someone who provides us the ability to shoot it from the perimeter. So that's really helpful for us, especially the way that we want to play. We have 2 transfers other transfers, not necessarily from Minnesota, that have joined us, and Alexia Rose. I think people are going to get really comfortable and have a lot of fun watching her play. She plays hard, she plays fast, primary ball handler, makes a lot of things happen. Jordan Brooks is a post player that transferred in as a grad student, or a fifth year kid. She's graduating this year. I'm not really sure what all the terms are, but she's someone that's coming back from an injury, so her development will take a little bit longer. Our 2 freshmen, Kenna Johnson, came in last semester and practiced with us, and that really was beneficial for her because it helps you understand the finer details. And certainly Tori McKinney, who came off a great senior campaign and she is acclimating herself very, very quickly. She plays really, really hard. She's been very well coached. She'll be good for us too.
Sure. Obviously, when you look at the climate of college basketball now, you talk about some of the new things. I guess you could call it new, but with NIL and all the things that coaches have to deal with, the transfer portal. How have you handled the transition, taking over this program, but also some of the things that happen behind the scenes with recruiting and things like that to try to maximize
Right.
the talent here?
Exactly. There are a lot of things going on. I think the only analogy, as you were explaining all that comes to mind is it's kind of like being either a student teacher. And when you're a student teacher, you put the lesson plans together, but you're being watched over, and your teacher is helping you put it all together, and then all of a sudden you go from being a student teacher to a teacher, and that's almost what it feels like. It's new, it's a little bit different, or you go from being a substitute teacher to the real teacher, and I think there's change, and I think that obviously I went to school to become a teacher, so that's kind of my world, but I think it's fun for us because we're seeing new things in college athletics. There's a transformation that's taking place, and I don't think any of us knows where this is all going to end up yet. So I think it's a really fun time. What I believe our team has done a really good job of this summer as a unit, our 15 players have done a great job of building that bond, which ultimately, I don't care what team you're on, what level you play on, that is essential.
Oh, for sure.
Good?
That's all I have.
That's great.